And here it is. Here I am. Yes, it is happening again. Yes, indeed, it is happening again. I am happening again. Are you happening with me? Roll up, ladies and gentlemen. One man went to mow. Yes, it's happening again. The session commences, and your company is required. That afternoon slot that is becoming fairly regular now. It's happening with increasing frequency. So frequent is, as you often do, that thing that we do is being done exactly right now. Nigeria matters all on the table, everything up for discussion. Your company needed for the conversation to take place. The hyperlink in the comment section if you want to come up here on the screen. One man went to mow, the eagle has landed.
Only water, only water, where they see my water. Water, 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 water. Only water, where they see my Hapa oh naido. Hapa oh naido. Hapa you don't come oh. Hapa oh naido. Oro kẹ̀kẹ́ ẹlẹ́mù yé o. Oro kẹ̀kẹ́. Ilé ṣọ́ọ́dì kẹ̀kẹ́ ẹlẹ́mù rẹ o. Oro kẹ̀kẹ́. Bobby master kẹ̀kẹ́ ẹlẹ́mù rẹ o. Oro kẹ̀kẹ́. Chief Wáìlà tí kẹ̀kẹ́ ẹlẹ́mù rẹ o. Oro kẹ̀kẹ́. Eruku lẹ̀lẹ̀ ẹlẹ́mù dé. Eruku lẹ̀lẹ̀ ẹlẹ́mù dé. Eruku lẹ̀lẹ̀ ẹgbẹ́ ẹlẹ́mù dòdò jàre o. Eruku lẹ̀lẹ̀ ẹlẹ́mù dòdò. Eruku lẹ̀lẹ̀ Ghana ti dé ẹgbẹ́ bọ́ọ̀dì o. Eruku lẹ̀lẹ̀ ẹlẹ́mù dòdò. Ọmọ ẹlẹ́yẹ ẹyẹ o ó dilé o. Ọmọ ẹlẹ́yẹ Odúyẹlá ẹyẹ o ó dilé o. Ọmọ ẹlẹ́yẹ Petro Sodana ẹyẹ o ó dilé o. Ọmọ ẹlẹ́yẹ Petro Sodunke ẹyẹ rẹ ó dilé o. Ọmọ ẹlẹ́yẹ ẹlẹ́kọ̀ ọ̀run mú ìní o. Àkùkọ ọ̀run mẹ́kọ̀. Ikú kò ní rí wa gbéṣe o.
And there you have it. I don't know why there was a bit of a hitch and glitch in that, but the prayers that we're hearing from the care guys is that may death not have anything to do with you. And so say all of us amen to that. Iku koniriwa agbeshe, the care guys. Iku koniriwa agbeshe, as guys I bring you this. Court strikes out stay of execution on Umahi's case, remains sacked. So there it is right there. Dave Umahi now, the ex-governor now, we must say now, of whichever state, whichever Ebonyi state. So he was sacked, of course, as you know, by a high court. He asked for a stay of execution. The court looked at the case again and said, no, there's really no need to stay execution because this is an open and short case. Again, court strikes out stay of execution on Umahi's case, remains sacked. So there you are, the ex-governor now, we have to say, of Ebonyi State. So the ex-governor of Ebonyi State, and on to the next update. Why we have not released ex-Anambra Governor Obiano, EFCC. So the tradition usually is catch and release within the Nigerian plenary system. They catch a suspect, a high-profile one, that is, we're talking high profiles. If you don't have a profile, you rot in jail in Nigeria. But if they catch rather the great and not so great and not so good, if they catch what purports to be an elite in Nigeria, he never really spends more than 24 hours in custody before they effect his bail, which usually then is a lifetime bail. But this does not appear to be the case in this instance. Why we have not released ex-Anambra Governor Obiano, a headline attributed to the EFCC. So quite why they are holding this guy in custody still, we'll find out just shortly. 2023 presidency, Saraki Mohammed agree on consensus candidate. So now a consensus candidate, and by the way, when they say Saraki Tambuwal and Mohammed agree on consensus candidate, that is not to say the APC as a party has agreed on a consensus party candidate. It's just that these three elements have agreed then to align behind one voice. So, what voice that is, or what this means, or if it's a different interpretation to what I'm giving it, we'll find out soon enough. But again, the headline 2023 presidency, Saraki Tambuwal Mohammed agree on consensus candidates. So, quite what is in play there, we'll find out shortly. Still with 2023, anti-BUNI governors conclude plans to revolt against Buhari at APC convention. So it's clear a house divided the APC. I think there's no even controversy or equivocation on that. It's played out in public glare, and we know that it is a house divided. But how deep-rooted is that division? We'll find out just in a couple of days' time as we huddle on to the 26th of January, February, of March, when they hold their convention. But they're signaling to that space. 2023, anti-BUNI governors conclude plans to revolt against Buhari at APC convention. So quite what that means, we'll find out shortly. So this now a news that will delight some and will fill others with indifference. Federal High Court in Abuja declare 2019 arrest detention of Showore illegal, awards damages against lawless DSS. So no price guessing where that headline is coming from. Lawless DSS, that is the language, of course, of Showore's own platform. Federal High Court in Abuja declares 2019 arrest detention of Showore illegal, awards damages against lawless DSS. So quite what that means, what is in play there, all to be found out just shortly. So kick back, lean back, relax, and take it easy. But before you kick back, relax, or take it easy, the two things that is the usual go-to that we call you to go to as soon as you come in. If you are not already subscribed, then please do that immediately and right now. And click on the like button as well, all for the same reasons that we've always persuaded that you click on it. That is to propel the platform on the YouTube algorithm, and then we reach a wider audience and the conversation gets even more interesting and more robust. So do all of that, click on the subscribe and click on the like, and lean back then, take it easy, and let me ease you in then with a little bit of a ditty from the Eastern Quarters. Holy, holy.
Another Savior. Holy, 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 another Savior. Another Savior. Holy, 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 holy,
well, this is Mobian. This is dedicated to the gallant heroes of the Nigerian Biafra War and IPO families all over the world. I remember the Nigerian Biafran War, in the thickness of the Biafra genocide. Hey, one man revived the vanishing hope to life. Let the great Biafran army to fight, and they were singing out, holy, 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 is another Savior. They were singing out, holy, 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 is another Savior. Holy, 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 is another Savior. Many years after the genocide, whoa, yet another great leader has risen up now. Oh, and he's leading the Biafrans to victory. In your madika, yabika kokwanam no. Hey, anamekele mazuche mefo. It's an honor having you on board. When I'm singing along. everything getting moving faster now. Holy, 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 holy. He's another savior. Holy, holy, getting moving right. Holy, holy, another freedom. He's another savior. Yeah, for freedom. Holy, 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 holy. Nnamdi Kanu is another savior. Another savior.
Holy, 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 Adimebujuku. Another savior.
Another savior.
Holy, 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 Adimebujuku. Another savior.
Well, this is Mobian. This is dedicated to the gallant heroes of the Nigerian Biafra War and IPO families all over the world. I remember the Nigerian Biafran War, in the thickness of the Biafra genocide. Hey, one man revived the vanishing hope to life. Let the great Biafran army to fight, and they were singing out, holy, 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 Olumewojuku is another savior. They were singing out, holy, 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 Olumewojuku is another savior. Holy, 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 Olumewojuku is another savior. Many years after the genocide, whoa, yet another great leader has risen up now. Oh, and he's leading the Biafrans to victory. Inyamadika yabika kwa namno. Hey, anamekele mazuche mefo.
And there you heard it. Holy, holy, holy Nnamdi Kanu, their mother savior. So holy, 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 holy Nnamdi Kanu, their mother's savior. As guys, I bring you this. Court strikes out stay of execution on Umahi's case, remains sacked. So there it is right there. The verdict comes in for a second time, and it is still thank you, but no thank you. So that is the verdict for Umahi. A federal high court in Abuja on Monday struck out the motion filed by sacked Governor David Umahi of Ebonyi State, seeking for a stay of execution of the March 8th judgment. Justice Iyang Ekwo struck out the motion after Chukwuma Chukwueme SAN, counsel for Umahi and his deputy Kelechi Igwe, prayed the court for the withdrawal of the motion, and the People's Democratic Party's PDP lawyer Emmanuel Akala SAN did not oppose the application. The motion for stay of execution was marked blah 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 between PDP versus INEC and three others. Justice Iyang had on March the 8th, in a judgment, ordered Umahi, his deputy Kelechi. Sorry, let me take that entirely over. I didn't quite like the flow of that. So let me just take that entirely all over again. A federal high court in Abuja on Monday struck out the motion filed by sacked Governor David Umahi of Ebonyi, seeking for a stay of execution of the March 8th judgment. Justice Iyang Ekwo struck out the motion after Chukwuma Chukwueme SAN, counsel for Umahi and his deputy Kelechi Igwe, prayed the court for the withdrawal of the motion, and the People's Democratic Party PDP lawyer Emmanuel Ukala SAN did not oppose the application. The motion for stay of execution was marked blah 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 between PDP versus INEC and three others. Justice Iyang Ekwo had on March the 8th, in a judgment, ordered Umahi, his deputy Kelechi Igwe, and 16 lawmakers to vacate their office and seats following their defection from the PDP to the All Progressive Congress APC. The judge also directed the Independent National Electoral Commission INEC to immediately receive from the PDP the names of its candidates to replace them, amongst others. On March the 10th, Governor Umahi and others have sought an order of the FHC Abuja, that is Federal High Court. So I sought an order of the FHC Abuja, Federal High Court Abuja, staying the execution of its judgment, directing them to vacate their offices over their defection to another party. In a motion on notice filed by Ume, the applicants also prayed the court to stay execution of its orders, directing INEC to receive another names in their place or hold a governorship election in accordance with Section 117C of the 1999 Constitution, pending the hearing and determination of appeal dated and filed on March the 9th by the appellant, amongst others. Ume also sought a withdrawal of the stay of execution motion filed on behalf of the lawmakers, PDP versus INEC and 20 others. At the resumed hearing, Ume informed the court of his intention to withdraw the two motions for stay of execution dated the 9th of March on grounds that an appeal had been entered at the Court of Appeal on the matter. Counsel for PDP, Emmanuel Ukala, SAN, did not oppose the application. In a short ruling, Justice Ekwo struck out the matter. So there it is right there. So just to be clear what's been said, Umahi was sacked by this Justice Ekwo at the Federal High Court in Abuja. So the direction to the justice was that INEC withdraw his certificate of return and take names from the PDP to substitute him because the victory that he won was actually a party victory. So Umahi then applied immediately to that court. So that judgment was on the 8th of March and the appeal was on the 9th of March. So he appealed to that court on the 9th of March for a stay of execution. So a stay of execution is essentially asking the court to hold that judgment in abeyance and not execute it just yet, as it gives them the time then to determine their next course of action. So they have now gone to the appellate court to file an appeal, and they are now looking to vacate that stay of execution. So that seems to be the summary of what's playing out there. But the sum total of it is that David Umahi remains sacked, ex-governor now of Ebonyi State. Why we have not released ex-Anambra Governor Obiano, EFCC. The former governor of Anambra State, Willie Obiano, who was arrested last week, has not been released because he has not met his bail conditions, an official had said. Ibrahim Bawa, the EFCC chairman, said this Monday whilst addressing journalists. In Abuja, he has been granted bail, but we await when he will fulfill his bail conditions, Mr. Bawa said. He did not elaborate on the bail conditions. The EFCC boss also dismissed claims that the arrest and detention of the former governor was politically motivated. He said, there is nothing political about the arrest of the former governor of Anambra State, Willie Obiano. We are a financial institution and we know what the EFCC stands for. We investigate crimes and we look at people who have committed a crime. And of course, we go to court and we have been doing that. And that is what we will continue to do. I don't know what you update or what I don't know what update you want me to give, because you have been accusing us of media trial and you want me to say we are doing this and that. No, we, EFCC, would not do that. We would continue to do our investigation professionally as we have been doing. Mr. Bauer made the remark in response to claims that the former governor's arrest was politically motivated. The All Progressive Grand Alliance ABGA, an opposition party, had criticized Mr. Obiano's detention by the EFCC, calling it a politically motivated witch hunt. In an interview with correspondents on Sunday, Mr. Obiano's spokesperson, James Eze, accused the anti-graft authority of persecuting Mr. Obiano, adding that an accused person is presumed innocent until convicted. So, so the backdrop to the story. It was reported how Mr. Obiano was report. It was reported how Mr. Obiano was arrested at the Muritala Mohammed International Airport in Lagos at 8:30 p.m. on Thursday, the day he officially vacated office after the constitutionally permitted 8 years tenure. Sources at the commission, who asked not to be named because they have no authority to speak to the press on the matter, said Mr. Obiano was arrested as he was preparing to board a flight to Houston, Texas, the United States. On Friday, EFCC transferred him from its Lagos office, where he was first detained, to Abuja for further questioning. The former governor has now spent 4 nights in EFCC custody. A 12-second clip that has gone viral across social media platforms had shown Mr. Obiano, who was dressed in shorts and a white shirt, drinking water from a bottle in a closed room, presumed to be in EFCC custody. The video has since elicited reactions, with many Nigerians denouncing it and others demanding an investigation into the leakage of the clip. Mr. Eze describes the leakage of the footage showing his principal in his underpants in detention as an indication of persecution and an assault of the dignity of Nigerians, not Obiano alone. He also called for an immediate investigation of the awful treatment of his boss, whom he said is presumed innocent under the law and deserves to be treated with dignity. So there it is, right there. That footage certainly leaked by a DSS agent, no other person. But this is what they do. They just carry people and look to shame them and embarrass them. But they've not shamed and embarrassed Obiano. They've shamed and embarrassed themselves. 2023 presidency, Saraki Tambuwal Mohammed agree on consensus candidates. So quite what this means, let's find out. Some presidential hopefuls in the main opposition People's Democratic Party (PDP) are closing ranks to choose a possible standard candidate for their party in the forthcoming general elections. Former Senate President Dr. Bukola Saraki, who spoke on behalf of Governor Aminu Tambuwal of Sokoto State and Governor Bala Mohammed of Bauchi State, revealed that they have agreed to work together to produce a consensus candidate. He made this disclosure on Sunday in Bauchi whilst briefing reporters after the trio he made the disclosure on Sunday in Bauchi whilst briefing reporters after the trio held discussions which lasted over 2 hours behind closed doors. With 2023 ahead of us, in trying to rescue the country, the unity of the country, the stability of the country, and the growth of the country are more important than individual ambitions, Saraki stated. We also met to strive for the need for us to work together. We believe that the three of us are working together harmoniously, committed, and with a lot of energy. We believe that the three of us are working together harmoniously, committed, and with a lot of energy. There will be great hope for this country going ahead. We appreciate that the three of us have shown aspirations to lead this country, but we have also come to realize that we are all capable, competent, and fit to lead the country. At the end of the day, it is only one person that will lead this country in 2023. And we also resolved that we are going to work closely to ensure that we come out with a way that consensus arrangement would come amongst the three of us on how to go forward into leading this country. So, who is going to sit space in that trilogy is the thing. The meeting of the three presidential aspirants comes 2 months ahead of the PDP's National Convention, scheduled for May the 28th, to elect a candidate. Whilst more PDP members have shown interest in the highest office in the land, there have been clamors for a southern candidate by party leaders from the region. In his briefing, Saraki explained that it was important for aspirants to look beyond personal ambition to ensure the country was in good hands. According to him, the PDP is the only party that can lead Nigeria aright, as the All Progressive Congress APC is struggling to put its house in order. We believe our role is to make things easier for us to have stability, he said. If there is stability in the PDP, there will be stability in Nigeria. You will all see that APC is no longer a party. The APC, is having challenges of administering its party, and anybody that cannot administer the party cannot administer the country. So, the only option left for Nigerians is PDP. And we believe that because of that level of responsibility, we must bury our personal ambitions. So, bury our personal ambitions, but who is going to cede space to whom is the question. So, who is going to cede space to whom as they continue to implode within the APC? 2023, anti-BUNI governors conclude plans to revolt against Buhari at APC convention. A group of All Progressive Congress APC governors have finalized a group of All Progressive Congress APC governors have finalized plans to turn against President Mohammed Buhari at the party's national convention scheduled to hold this weekend. According to an independent source, the governors leading this move are El Rufai of Kaduna State and Rotimi Akeredolu of Ondo State. The correspondence report. A presidency source, who is also one of the leaders of the party, said the governors are up in arms against President Buhari for allegedly humiliating them in the leadership crisis that rocked the party, which has seen the return of Governor Mia Malabuni of Yobe State to his position as the interim national chairman of the party. To achieve their aims, the aggrieved governors have resolved to sponsor candidates against the preferred choice of President Buhari for available positions into the National Working Committee (NWC) at the convention. They also resolved not to give any cooperation to the BUNI-led caretaker committee. El Rufai had categorically stated that BUNI, who was out of the country on medical leave, will not return to his position as APC chairman because President Buhari, who appointed him to lead the party in June 2020, had given instructions to APC governors to dispense with him. According to him, no fewer than 19 governors of the party and one deputy governor unanimously agreed to carry out the directive of the president, saying the remaining three governors are the ones dishing out fake news that BUNI has not been removed. I have spoken with my governor, who is also one of those against BUNI, and he said they feel humiliated the way President Buhari handled the leadership crisis. It makes the anti-BUNI governors look like liars, as if he had never given them instructions to effect changes in the leadership. But again, if you look at the issue critically, President Buhari at that point was in a dilemma, especially with the letter by INEC rejecting the removal of BUNI. However, to the governors, he has embarrassed them and they will surely show their hands at the convention. Anyone the president picks as his preferred candidate will be asked by the governors at the convention. That may also happen if he endorses a presidential aspirant. So, how quite firmly would they be able to hold on to that position is the question. So, we land on this final talking point and then we see if there's anybody available to discuss it. Federal High Court in Abuja declares 2019 arrest detention of Showore illegal, award damages against lawless DSS. Justice Obiara Egwatu of the Federal High Court in Abuja has declared the arrest and unlawful detention of the human rights activist Omoyele Sowore on August the 3rd, 2019, by the lawless operatives of the Department of State Services DSS as illegal. The court also ordered the DSS to pay the sum of 1 million naira and aggravated damages to the activist. The judge gave the order on Monday, whilst ruling on the fundamental rights suit filed by the activist to challenge his unlawful abduction at a Lagos hotel for asking Nigerians to take to the streets and protest against bad governance, insecurity, and corruption. The activist had on November the 15th, 2019, filed a suit marked blah blah blah, challenging the Director General of the Department of State Services DSS Yusuf Bichi and the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice Abubakar Malami SAN for his illegal arrest and detention. The activist, through his lawyer Abubakar Marshall, asked the court to declare his unlawful detention by the DSS as illegal and a gross violation of his fundamental right to liberty. He also asked the court for an order compelling the DSS to pay him the sum of 500 million naira as general and aggravated damages for the illegal violation of the applicant's fundamental right to life, the dignity of his person, fair hearing, health, freedom of movement, and freedom of association. Justice Obiara Egwatu of the Federal High Court in Abuja has declared the arrest and unlawful detention of human rights Omoyele Sowore on August the 3rd, 2019 by the... Oh, I think this repeats. Does this repeat? Okay, so this just repeats. So that essentially is it. So now let's now see if there's anybody around to take it on. So yeah, we've got Thomas. So Thomas, we've got you. And we've got Charlie Boy as well. So Thomas and Charlie Boy. So Thomas, to you first. So Showore now, so a bit of a minor victory. The illegal arrest now and detention. This has now been marked in law, a victory somewhat for the rascal from Ondo. So what are you then making of then this good news for Showore? Thomas. Are you there, Thomas? Okay, Thomas is not there. Let's go to Charles. So let's just remove Thomas. So Charles, to you.
Yes, I'm here.
All right. So Showore gets a victory. What are you making of it?
Yeah, you see, I think it's Showe. I think it's illegal to arrest him, but I think Showe, his voice is not that. His voice is not. Nigeria's not hearing his voice. His voice is not hearing to the people. So you need to. He needs to have a different strategy because it's not working.
Yes. I think really, as soon as his court case is over, he should just try and make his way back to America, and that should be the end of it. Because all the screaming and shouting has not really had any effect, has it, Charlie Boy?
No, he hasn't.
All right. So I'm not sure if you're following the story of Dave Umahi, the governor of Ebonyi State, but it looks as though he remains the ex-governor because he asked the court not to carry out their judgment, but then he has appealed that judgment. So now he has asked the court to vacate his appeal for them So he remains sacked essentially. So what are you making of that?
You see, I think Umahi did a mistake. If people in in state elect you as a PDP governor, you shouldn't switch when you been governor. It's in general to the people elect you. 'Cause I get why PDP are mad because they elect you as a PDP governor. It's in general for you to switch parties. When you're a governor, you can't just say, "Hey, she not want to become APC." You should have done it before he become governor. Then be fair, but you shouldn't switch parties when you're governor. So I think that's a good step in the right direction. And
Or
he shouldn't be crying like a baby. Just sit down. Like he's just a governor. He like is crying like a baby. Like it's something serious.
all right, to the Obiano space, Charles. So he's 4 days in detention now. They said they've granted him bail, but he's not being able to meet the conditions of that bail. So what are you making of that? A lot of people suggesting that is politically motivated.
Do,
The chairman of the DSS
do,
insisting that it's not.
do you know one man? I was watching a video of the Igbo lady who mad at him. They say,
Mm,
I'm not happy about that guy. He stole the money from the state and flying to Houston. That's what people are mad.
mm.
You shouldn't be stealing money from a state. I'm flying. Any government shouldn't. They elect you for the people. Why are you stealing the money? I think he's very suspicious, in my opinion, for him to immediately the ceremony open to fly to Houston immediately. That's suspicious to me. So he probably did steal the money. He got caught in the act.
All right. Yeah, he wanted to make his escape, but it wasn't quite quick
And
enough.
plus, his wife is not helping the situation too.
Going around slapping people. No, she didn't actually, because everybody keeps saying she slapped people, but
Oh,
she didn't actually slap people. She got slapped for
oh,
being drunken and disorderly.
hmm
So the drunken and disorderly first lady of Anambra State got a dirty slap from the patriarch of the Igbo people.
yeah. And I got it. This is my tease, my opinion. I think his wife had to do with it too. Maybe his wife forced him to do this act to steal the money because his wife is like the boss of him technically. God, I watched the video. The government telling the wife, calm down. The wife slapped his hand. No, she didn't care about him. That showed me that his wife is the boss of him. He's not a strong man. That guy.
I'll tell you something funny, Charles. Most wives are usually the bosses of their husbands.
Yeah.
The man will tell you that he's the boss, but when they get indoors,
But you see,
yeah.
that's why I think Nigeria should create a law for government so government don't steal money. They should create a law. 'Cause I think that's why you always ask yourself all the money. Do you need, like he didn't put a single good word in Anambra State. That guy. No, all the words are bad. So where is the money he's spending? He put it in his own pocket. He's just built an airport. I think that developed just built one airport. That's one company.
But that's the story of the totality of Nigeria. It's not unique or peculiar to that guy. They all do the same thing. That's just it. But he now the man of the moment at the moment, the man in the
And I
so
also think
it's 4 days in detention, by the way, Charles.
yeah, no, a lot of these governors building this airport are wasting the money. Airport is waste money. It shouldn't be. Why should be airport? Why should every state have an airport? They shouldn't have. Every state shouldn't have an airport. It's a waste of money.
No, Anambra State should not have an airport if that is what you said. No,
Yeah,
what's the need? Who is in Anambra that would need an airport? Is it for Uchenna, the spare parts dealer, or what? They don't need an airport.
yeah.
That's just a nonsense.
That's Southeast we have two airports in a small region like Southeast have two airports. What we need two airport for? And you should only have a Nugas airport.
You see, that they call that white elephant projects. That's what it's called, Charles.
Yeah,
So you just build something big and shiny for the purposes of having something big and shiny. When what is needed by your people is not what is big and shining, but something that is practical. So this is what you see in a lot of the Nigerian spaces, especially in the east. They just build big and shiny stuff.
and the
You
sad
know,
part, the airport's already broken. I was a bit of a storm.
yeah.
The things breaking apart. He should just do that. He built a cheap material just to make it fast.
Yeah, maybe just some China something. So it's ridiculous, isn't it,
Yeah.
Charles? So yeah, you should spend a bit more time in DSS custody. But it looks as though they are coming up with a consensus within the PDP, Charles.
Mhm.
So a consensus is to say that rather than have primaries and elect somebody to be a candidate, they will just agree that this is the person that we want, and they will all gather behind that person. So it looks as though the discussions are taking place in the PDP to agree to a consensus candidate. Are you for that, Charles?
No, I think they should they should, they should do what like modern would do. You know, in America, when they have a primary hood, like they should, I think they should vote. They should vote in the government house and vote even other parties to vote, other people to vote. They say, hey, if you for that person to vote up, I think that's fair.
Or,
That's the
or
only way they should do it because if you want to ban Nigeria, they should. I think that's why the next president need to change Nigeria because this is a new beginning. He needs to change Nigeria into the modern society.
Yes, he has, certainly has to do something impactful. Certainly, he has to, because things cannot continue the way they are. That country is
And
just
also,
falling apart.
Nigeria should plan if eventually oil runs out. They should have a plan.
Do you think
With,
they have the brains too? Because Nigeria has enormous resources, but the only resource so far that they are tapping into is oil. So they're so subsumed by the wealth that that oil brings that they are not looking elsewhere. They are not looking to agriculture. They are not looking to gemstones. We have emeralds in abundance in the north. We have gold all over the country. We have uranium. We have bitumen. We have everything, but they just focus on that oil. So maybe when that oil runs out, that will facilitate the breaking up of the country.
no, the reason why I say they should like eventually Europeans and USA will eventually ban gasoline cars. They will eventually be banned in the
Well, they are
USA.
starting to do that already, are they not,
And
Charles?
that's gonna affect Nigeria because electric car is pointless in Nigeria. There's no good electricity. You have electric car in Nigeria. That's the problem. Car business can be affected in the future if they never get the act right. There's gonna be a big problem with car business because people in Nigeria will like gasoline cars. Eventually, it's gonna be banned in the USA, United States. It's gonna affect Nigeria.
Mm.
I don't know why the Nigerian government are not planning ahead. Even Dubai planning. You know, Dubai used to be a oil country, but they're planning ahead, and that's a tourism country. Dubai plans ahead. They realize the oil eventually won out. That's what that Dubai is not a tourism solution.
Maybe it's because they just don't have the brains in Nigeria. Have you considered that? Because they're just too dumb.
You know, there are smart people in Nigeria. They are. Nigeria is very smart. They just they're using the smart for their advantage. They're very smart people. They have God give Nigeria so many resources. Nigeria is blessed with so many resources, but we haven't tapped into it. We can become the richest country in the world with all the resources we have. We have the oil. We have to not have so many land. We could grow so many crops and feed the whole world. We can. North is huge. Why they not haven't tapped into farming? That could actually help them. They haven't
Because they're
tapped.
too dumb. They're too dumb.
They should tap in there. We're blessed, but we just didn't have to realize with some research we don't have been tapping. And sad the government of sending money abroad. How can a governor of a state go to abroad just to quickly get out? That's suspicious to me.
Oh,
And then
oh,
got
oh.
caught in the act. Now I saw the video of him drinking water.
Yes, they've punked him, haven't they? Because they deliberately released that video to mock him.
He don't realize people in Nigeria are suffering. He didn't realize that.
No, they realize they just don't care. It's the thing, which is more tragic. If they did not realize, we may say maybe if they bring it to, they know that people are suffering. They just don't care.
That's why I kind of like the new governor of Anambra State. I like that guy kind of. He actually lately he went to the poor area. He actually went to the garbage areas. I like that guy. He said what he's doing what he said he's gonna do. He's a brave
Don't
guy.
don't like him just yet. Give him 1 year in office and
Yeah,
then like him, because we don't know what he is capable of or not capable of.
yeah. To me, he don't look like a drunk guy. He look like a serious guy. He means business.
Why do you say he doesn't look? Who looks like a drunkard, Charles?
I don't know. I feel like the past governor, I would say, he looked like the type of guy who he didn't look serious. He looked like the type of guy he just pretend to say he's pumped. He hasn't done it.
Mm.
Almost all the states in Anambra State are bad. So those people are mad at him. A lot of Igbos not happy with that guy. He uses all the money for development. See, the Igbos keep blaming the North, but we actually also blame our politicians too. They don't want constant employment because they steal the money and steal the money and eat the money up. That's one thing I like about the Northern Party. At least they do something for the people. You look at kind of good word, but in the South, they all steal money. That's one thing I have to say. Catch you guys later.
All right. And Charles,
Where might I have to go? So
all right. Okay, good. Thank you, Charles. So let's go from you to Ego then. You have to go eat burger or something, I imagine. But thank you, Charlie Boy. So let's go from Charlie Boy to Ego. And Ego, so the Dave Umahi, he not the well, Dave Umahi, yes, he remains the ex-governor of Ebonyi State for reasons that the court have not stated the execution of that judgment. So as it stands now, pending what transpires in the appeal court, Dave Umahi now, former governor of Ebonyi State.
Former governor?
Yes, he's been sacked now. Okay, I think we lost Ego. All right, I think we've lost Ego, and Charlie Boy has had to go off to do whatever it is that young people do. So that's been the session. So I'll leave it there. Carry the conversation on with you in the comment section. But here, I say, peace.